guys, as you probably already know from the title of this video up there, this is story time, and this is going to be a new series well, not every Friday, fortnightly on a Friday, and basically, well, you're probably thinking, oh, this is going to be really boring, she's just going to tell us stories and such, and why is it fortnightly, why not weekly? Well, because it's going to be a lot more fun, and a lot more interactive than you guys are probably thinking it's going to be. Basically, I have a story right here. And I found it, I was searching my external hard drive, and I was like, what random rubbish do I have on here? And I found this. It's something that I wrote when I was like I probably wrote it at the age of decorating this room. So like 15. And it's kind of crazy. But I thought, I was like, I want to share this with someone because it's so weird. So basically, why not share it with you guys and then make this into a series where I just write random stories. So if you stay to the end of this video, you will find out how you can be a part of the next video in 2 weeks on the Friday. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be writing you guys some stories. It's like 2 pages. I think it was 2 chapters or something. I don't know. I can't remember what I did or anything. But it's kind of crazy. So yeah, don't judge me because this was years ago, and it's weird. You probably already know the title of this video, and you're just like, what? What can this be about? So yeah, if you stay to the end, you can find out how to be in the next video with your story. Well, my story that I'm going to write for you. I'm saying too much, I should just read this. So yeah, I can't read this without giggling terribly. So you're gonna have to sit through that. Right, so this is the Great Cheese Fight. Yeah. I don't know what was going through my mind when I wrote this. So anyway, chapter 1. Ember felt weaker as she was sitting at her computer. Her eyes were getting heavy and she felt a strange stabbing pain in her stomach. The pain got worse and she ended up feeling like her internal organs were being ripped apart. Her eyes fell shut this time, not opening again. Her body went limp and she fell off her computer chair. She lay on the floor, not moving at all. This is how she was left for around a week. She didn't wake up. Oh no. Okay, so we're starting out with a character already dead. Cool. Her friends had been talking to her on MSN, because that's what everyone used back then. Obviously. Karis, Savannah, and Ellery. I told you they had weird names. Were the first people to notice something wrong. She hadn't replied to any of the messages they sent her. Her computer had been on all week, day and night. There was definitely something wrong with her, and they were the first people to go to her house. And I didn't even spell definitely wrong. It says defiantly. There was defiantly something wrong with her. Makes no sense. They managed to get in by using the spare key hidden in the plant pot. Everyone keeps a spare key in the plant pot. Didn't you know that? Everyone keeps a spare key in the plant pot. Didn't you know that? I don't even have a plant pot. Okay. They searched the house high and low, not finding anything. But when they got to her computer room, they got a shock. Oh no, she's dead. What will they do? Because everyone has a room, especially for their computer, as well as a plant pot, and whatever else I've already said. She was dead. Oh no. We already knew that, but oh no. She wasn't breathing. That's usually what happens when you're dead. Her heart wasn't beating. Once again, usually happens when you're dead. And she was pale as a ghost. Wouldn't she be like kind of half rotting and stuff? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Ew. That's gross. There was nothing they could do to save her. It was too late. Well, it's been a week. Obviously, it was going to be too late. Ugh. Okay. Many people attended Ember's funeral, most of them being close friends and relatives. Ember was a popular girl who could get along with almost everyone, and no one could get mad at her. And certainly no one could hate her. Everyone was shocked by Ember's death. No one knew she was ill. She kept it well hidden. Well, who's to say she was ill? No, it could have been a freak accident or something. She could have been stabbed by her computer? I don't know. That's weird. Savannah was the person who took the news the worst. She couldn't believe that Ember was gone. She had got depressed, and soon everything just got too much. She refused to let Ember go. she went slightly crazy. Oh no. She tried to stop Ember's funeral, but things didn't go according to plan. See, now this is where it gets really weird, and you'll understand. This is where the title of the story comes into it. Savannah decided to ruin the funeral. Her chosen weapon was thin, sliced cheese. Yeah, I even acknowledge in the story, not the best thing to choose. Yeah. She stood at the graveyard, hidden by trees, her bag full of cheese. Kinda rhymes. Her target inside. Who's a target? Who is she going to throw cheese at? Don't know. Ember's coffin was just being laid into the grave. How could she do that to her, she thought, as the priest said the final resting prayer. A tear slipped from her eye as she looked at Karis and Ellery. They were standing next to each other, crying their eyes out. Aww, that's so sad. Well, it'd be sadder if we actually knew the character that had died, but apparently she just dies instantly. Whatever. When the cheese throwing started, that's the best line. When the cheese throwing started, no one knew what was happening. Many people ran away, but Ember's closest friends stayed. Nothing was going to stop them from saying their last goodbyes. It wasn't exactly good when it started to rain. Oh great. Cheese and rain. The water made the cheese start to go all slimy, and it was now sticking to everyone. That's gross. I wouldn't want to be covered in slimy. Ew. Slimy cheese? It's gross. Savannah threw her last piece of cheese and decided to retreat. A scream was the last thing she heard as she headed deeper into the woods, not looking back and not regretting she had just ruined her best friend's funeral. That's the end of chapter 1. So now it's chapter 2. Okay. The next few days were worse for Savannah. The scream she had heard was from Karis. All the cheese had blocked Karis's view and she had fallen into the grave. She managed to crack her head open. Her head open? Sorry, my English accent's getting the best of me. She managed to crack her head open, and there was no one that could help her because because they were all so covered in cheese. She bled to death. Ew. She's basically, it's a double funeral. Yay. Savannah was going crazy. Wasn't she? Oh, she went slightly crazy. Now she's just going plain crazy. Her friends were dying one by one. Ellery would be the next person to die, and then it would be Savannah. Or so she thought. Sydney was the next person to die. Who the hell is Sydney and where did she come from? Seriously. Savannah wasn't as close to Sydney as she was to the other 3 girls. Well, obviously, she wasn't even mentioned in the story. Savannah went to Sydney's memorial service. She was equipped with the same things she had at Ember's funeral. The cheese. So how did Sydney die? We don't even get that. We don't know her. We don't know how she died. She's just having a memorial service. Great. The service... Oh no, I missed it. Trying to skip a paragraph there. Things happened just like they did at Ember's funeral. Savannah was sitting in the corner of the room, sipping a glass of wine. She looked around. Not many people had chosen to turn up. Ellery was there. She was sitting in the corner opposite from Savannah. She looked lost. She didn't know what to do. All of her friends had died. That's not saying Savannah wasn't her friend. Savannah had died inside. She wasn't the same person. Things are getting deep now. And that's about as deep as it gets. Because the service was halfway through when the cheese throwing started. Just like before, some people fled and some stayed. The people that stayed were in for a shock. Savannah was aiming mainly for Ellery. There was a certain order in which people would die. Savannah no longer had anything to live for. Most of her friends were dead, and her boyfriend had left her. She had a boyfriend? I didn't even know. Didn't mention anything about him either. He should have died. Just to make it worse. Ugh. What could she do? Start a new life? No, she couldn't do that. Not knowing what she had been the one that had killed Karis. Oh no. Ellery was soon covered in cheese, and didn't know where she was walking. She couldn't see a thing. Her eyesight had been taken from her by the evil cheese. Scrap what I said about the other line being the best sentence. That's the best sentence. Her eyesight had been taken from her by the evil cheese. That's great. It's amazing. Unaware that she was now standing right in front of Savannah, she took a step forward. How can you take a step forward if you're right in front of someone? It's not possible. Savannah got a vision of how Ellery should die, and pushed her sideways. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Ellery fell in slow motion, apparently because slow motion actually exists, onto a small wooden coffee table, knocking everything that was on it over. Cups, bottles, and worst of all, candles. The liquid tried to put out the fire, but that didn't work. Ellery's clothes burnt and the fire started on her skin. That's gross. Ew. No one was around to help her apart from Savannah. Oh, it gets gross. Savannah stood there staring. The screams of pain started getting too much for her, and she fled. Not knowing where she was running to, not really caring. She found herself on the edge of the cliff, deciding whether or not to jump. And I spelled the wrong weather. It's not weather. It's the weather as in rain and sun. I don't get it either. I have nothing to live for, she mumbled to herself as she took a step closer to her death. Looking down, she saw the blue waves hitting the rocks, consuming them and then spitting them back out. The most beautiful way to die, being consumed by the waves and ending up in eternal darkness. It gets weird. It's weird. What was I thinking when I wrote this? I don't know. Last couple of sentences. Yay! It's over. It's gonna be over. Savannah put one foot over the edge and took a deep breath. Building up the confidence, she stepped off and fell to her death. She fell and got lost in the waves. And that's how it ends. Yeah, I told you guys it was weird. But anyway, if you want me to be writing your story in the next episode, all you have to do is comment below. Basically, there's 3 things you need to do. So 1, you need to give me some names. So up to 5 names, I think. So basically, for example, you could be, I don't know, Bob and Jill. And Frankie. Frankie, Bob, and Jill. Weird names. I don't know where I got them from. I was just like, instantly names. So then you're going to tell me where they are. So that's number 2, tell me where they are. So they could be anywhere. It could be like a general thing, they could be just in the UK. Or it could be like specific, like they're in a boat, like a couple of miles off a shore of a deserted island. Okay, so that's Bob, Jill, and Frankie in a small rowing boat a couple of meters away from a desert island. Okay, and then number 3, you've got to tell me what's going on. So it could be like a sort of disastrous situation type thing. So what's happening? So, for example, maybe a zombie outbreak. So you've got Bob, Jill, and Frankie sitting in a rowing boat near a deserted island, and there's a zombie outbreak. So that could be the reason why the island's deserted. So then I will put them together and write a 2-page story, and I shall read it next time. So don't steal my example, because I wouldn't know what to do with that. Okay, just a conversation in a rowing boat as they're rowing towards the island, and then they get murdered because it's not actually deserted, but it's full of zombies. Yay! So yeah, that's it. Don't forget to leave 1, 2, and 3 down there. No more than 5 names, please, or else it'll get too confusing. And I think that's about it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's not too crazy. Don't think I'm completely weird now. And thank you for watching.